Welcome to Let's Talk with Coach Shay. I'm Coach Shay, and I am so grateful that you're here to explore, to transform, to grow, to tap into your unlimited potential. Today, I'd like to dive into something very personal. You know, I've been reflecting. 2024 for me isn't just another year. It feels as though it is a profound marker. It feels it's the end of 2020, in fact. Now, you might be thinking, Shay, what are you talking about? But stay with me here. You see, I don't know how you feel, but I feel like 2020 was such a shock. It was such a transformation, and it's been giving for the last 4 years. That single year changed everything for me. It became a journey, it became a transformation, it became the unfolding of tragedy, it was the beginning of deep grief, and it was life altering. I lost my beloved friend, soulmate, my mother. She was my sister. She was my mentor in ways I did not know until she was gone. She was fun. We enjoyed each other. We laughed a lot. What an extraordinary gift it was to know her and to be her daughter. And the pandemic, her death, the loss of my largest client at that time, and then the discovery during my perimenopause process that's still going on, by the way, but certainly not the way it was before. Things are so much better. I discovered during that process that I had a growth on one of my kidneys and went through lots of tests, CTs, MRIs, and it was life altering. I had to have it removed, and thus began another type of grief, dealing with your mortality. I'm so grateful to be alive. I'm so grateful that the growth turned out to be benign, but it took me down a path of fear and anxiety in a time when I was already experiencing so much loss and change like so many people. And I truly feel that it was the beginning of a neurological, physiological, philosophical, psychological change. That was 2020. It was shocking. It was stunning. And then 2021 was exploring and healing and probing and piloting and trying new things and seeing myself in a different way and dealing head on with fear. And for me as a coach, it was so profound because I now had to really apply what I had coached so many other people to do. I had this feeling that I had it down, and then 2020 took me out. So I had to experiment, and I had to poke and try things and push and face my greatest fears. And what I discovered in facing my greatest fears was this new roadmap. Because it wasn't just about remaking myself. It was that the world was and is being remade with us in it. And there's this silent, invisible, it's a sensation, it's an idea, it's a belief system, I think. It's a paradigm, actually, that we live in, that as you get older, you become less valuable to the society. And for women, and I've coached thousands of women in midlife, so I know this. When you're going through perimenopause that no one tells you really about, I mean, we're talking about it now in 2024, but really it hasn't been talked about before, and nobody prepares you for a 3 to 7 to 10 year process that you may go through before the end of your last period. That it could shake you in ways that it's not just about hot flashes. For me, perimenopause was intense anxiety. It was palpitations. It was fear when I was speaking, something I never had, or I certainly didn't have since my 20s. It was itchy skin and weight gain. I gained 33 pounds between actually 2019 and 2022. It was wild. And I think what really shook me was the rate of change and how many dramatic things happened to me at the same time. And as a coach, I wanted to be truthful And so I actually withdrew a bit. I withdrew from coaching. Upon reflection, this is what I realized. I withdrew from so many things had hit me, and I had to question the truth of my teaching. And I'm glad I did that, because I always want to come from a place of authenticity when I train, I coach, and encourage others to see what's great in them and to see what's possible in them, and then to create a plan on how to get it. So the second and third year became this probe into making something new. And it was like this unfolding chapter with lots of challenges, everything. I don't know about you, but there are all these challenges. And with every challenge, though, you meet the challenge and then you grow. And then 2023 became about seeing the future, really seeing it, really feeling it in my bones. And as I started to feel it, as I started to see it, as I started to understand my pattern, that my weight gain wasn't just about going through perimenopause, it was about my mind. And as soon as I was so clear about what I wanted, about my vision for my future, as soon as I studied not my weight, not the scale, I stopped weighing myself. As soon as I started to observe the pattern, as soon as I studied the pattern and felt the embodiment of the life I wanted, I tell you no word of a lie, I didn't feel hungry anymore. I felt so hungry in 2020 and 2021. I was so hungry. And I couldn't quite understand that my hunger was not about food, but about life. And as soon as I started to study my pattern and became a scientist of myself, things started to change. The weight started to drop. As soon as I started weightlifting, this one really changed everything. Weightlifting, I think, is so fascinating because, I'm just going to take a sip here. I always used weights in my exercise routines, or when I was training other people in yoga, I always used weights, but I didn't understand the profound transformation that comes with weightlifting, that it's this incredible endocrine system that affects your whole body. It affects your hormones, it affects your brain, the increase of muscle and bone density. It changes everything. 2023 was about unlocking all these biases that I had. It was about unlocking the pattern that used to serve me that no longer served me. And the probing and piloting and testing became a roadmap to building a commitment of accountability to a new life. Society tells us that we are not valuable after a certain age. And the reality is that it's the opposite. You're more valuable. Like, if you just look at it from a point of view of data, you have all these years, decades of data. The question is, how do you apply it to the new world in which you are living? I think midlife is a calling, and I don't think it whispers. I think it picks you up and it shakes you hard. And you have to have the strength and the vision to hear the message and adhere to it and say, I do not believe what society says about me. I do not believe that I am less worthy, that I do not have meaning, that I am less productive, and that my best years are behind me. I do not believe that. This has to become your mantra. We have to understand that society is wrong about this, that midlife is actually a new beginning. And I think oh my gosh, it's the psychotherapist Jung who said the first 40 years, and I'm paraphrasing here, the first 40 years are learning. are experimenting with yourself. Longevity is the greatest innovation of our time. Stop thinking that you only have 30 or 40 or 50 years left and start thinking that it is about now, and that I heed the call, that I hear the question, that I get the message, that in fact, that my life is not less valuable. In fact, it is more valuable. And this moment is my moment to grow and become the human that I want to be, to create the success that I truly desire, to learn everything I can, to apply everything I know, to ask every question, to create new possibility for myself. And here's the key. You do not have to throw yourself away. Keep the best of what you have learned. Keep the sensations that drive you. Keep your work ethic and the things you love and all the things that bring you joy. They are worth more than any material thing that you have. Materials can be taken, they can be destroyed, they can be blown up, they can disappear. A bank can own them, but not your mind, not your hope, not your deepest desires, not your internalized strength. We could talk all day about the algorithms of negativity and how they work against us, or we could decide that we are the embodiment of a new algorithm and that our algorithm is designed to succeed in the now. You see, I discovered through the losses, the griefs, the starting over, the probing, the remaking of things, I discovered that I had doubt. Doubt was holding me back. And I think when I had to face my own mortality and I had to deal with my health event and I had to address the physical, psychological loss of my mom and a number of other essential people to my life, I had to demand that I rise to the person that I believed that I could be. And I'm telling you that that is the same calling that you have. We are all called the same. Things can break you or they can grow you. Here's what I know for certain is that when tragedy and trauma hit you, you have to feel it, you have to grieve it, and then you have to make a conscious choice about whether or not the pain that has come into your life is going to expand who you are or break you into pieces. Now, here's the thing. You can break into pieces and still come back together. We have to be unafraid to break. When we break, we unleash what used to be and what we do not need. And then we choose to fight our way back. And I cannot pretend it is a fight. It was a fight to lose 33 pounds after 50. It was a fight to get up and find new clients and rebuild my business and my company. It was a fight when the doctor said, there's a growth on your kidney. We don't know what it is. I had to make a decision that I knew that I was strong and that I was healthy and that I had the capacity to deal with whatever I was facing. And when that happens, you change. Hard things happen to us all, but it is what we do with them. It's what we do with them that changes the trajectory of our life. And so as I look at 2025, I feel it is the beginning of a new year in a way that 2024 and 2023 and 2022 and 2021 were not for me. It took 4 years to remake this woman. I am filled with such gratitude. I am filled with such gratitude for being a human being, because human beings are remarkable. We can sustain and live through extraordinary things and live to tell about it. And you, wherever you are, you have to believe that. You have to make a decision today, in fact, that whatever is against you, whatever you are facing, whatever you are fighting, No matter how hard, no matter how sad, no matter how unprepared you are, no matter how many no's, no matter how much failure, that you stay in the game. And, we're living through a soundbite kind of period. There isn't a lot of time or space for nuance and connection and really thoughtful conversations. But here's what I've learned. The very complexity that might seem like a weakness to many, the very complexities that we have to work through and muddle through and cry through and break through to get somewhere, that's our superpower. That's our superpower. Our complex resilience, our multi-dimensional resilience is our superpower. Think about it. Meaning, purpose, real relationships. None of these things can be rushed. None of these things can be made overnight. They all require exactly what everyone claims they don't have enough of: time, space, patience. And you know what? That's okay. The trick isn't to fight against this reality, but it's to learn, to bring your full self to the complex world in which we are living. Be with the people who want your complexity. Be with the people who have patience for who you are and what you are. Because I'll tell you, they will come. We have to keep moving forward and gravitating towards the best in us and the best around us. So yes, I am excited about 2024. 2025. I am excited about 2025. Really excited. Because 2020 has lasted 4 years. It has transformed the impossible for me. And I think it can do the same for you. I just want you to know that wherever you are and whatever you are going through, you can get through it. You are bigger and greater than every challenge in front of you and even inside of you. Until next time, I am Coach Shay. I have so much love for you, and I wish you well.